I'm going to try and explain a little bit again about what I mean by having traits of or spikes into neurodivergence without actually having an autistic diagnosis or an ADHD diagnosis or an OCD diagnosis or whatever it is. So again, I'm going to remind you all of that colourful spectrum that we all live on, the spectrum of neurotypes. Okay, so imagine it like a colour picker. Now you're in that, you've got little spikes. It's all made up of little spikes from the middle. Okay, and if your spike stops within a certain donut, within a certain round, then that is neurotypical. That is sort of where most people live within that particular area. But if you spike a bit out, then you might have a trait that goes into a neurodivergence. If that is dialed all the way up to the top, well, then you've probably got something that's starting to affect your day-to-day life, and now it could be a diagnosis of something that is causing you problems. So, for an example, spoons. Okay, we all like a spoon. Everybody likes a particular spoon. I think most people have got sort of a favourite spoon, whether it matters or not. Now, it might be that when you open your drawer, you're going to have a quick look to see if you've got your favourite spoon in there. If it's not in there, no big deal. I'll have this one then. It may be you don't care about spoons at all. I care about spoons. I have very particular taste in spoons, and I will root around for just the right one. And in a restaurant, if the spoon isn't right, I'm uncomfortable, but I can get through it. It's not dialed up to 10, but it's definitely dialed up a bit higher than normal. Than typical within our set of society. Now, dial that all the way up, and you've got somebody who has an obsession over this particular spoon, can't let go of that spoon, needs to know where that spoon is at all times, gets really anxious if there's any tarnish on that spoon, can't leave the spoon alone. If they put the spoon down in their drawer, they need to keep going back and checking that spoon. They need to make sure it's there. They need to keep touching that spoon. That spoon is utterly, utterly important to them. That's all the way up here with that spoon. That's definitely spiked out into neurodivergence up there. That is probably an OCD trait involved with that spoon. It could be an autism trait involved with that spoon. We're all a little bit conscious of spoons. We're not all of us completely neurodivergent about spoons. Okay? And that's the same with everything. You are going to watch my videos and you're going to think, oh, I'm a little bit like that too. I've got that, a little bit. And that's great. You can have lots of little bits and still be, broadly speaking, neurotypical. And that's great. You're recognising these traits about yourself. I'm also looking at the people who are coming in from the top, and it's more tricky then. But that's okay too.